Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of my Minecraft survival series. On our previous episode we built this giant kelp farm with an enhanced collection system. We ran it twice and this is how much kelp we got. So down underneath here we need a furnace smelting system that will turn it all into kale chips, which is what I like to call dried kelp. And then we need a little room somewhere back over here where we can craft it all up into kelp blocks. And then we need to send it in another system that will fuel a giant smelter that we're going to build on this level in today's episode. So here I am in a creative world. Those of you who watched the previous episode might recognize this. This was originally Ilmango's world download of his kelp farm design. I have modified it in a couple ways, as you can see. I have added the giant furnace system, which will automatically fill this hopper minecart with kelp. And then once that's full, it'll be released. It'll go around the tracks here, fill up these smokers, which smokers are much faster at burning kelp than regular furnaces are. When all of the smokers are done, the kelp is emptied into this chest over here. You can pull it out of this chest, craft it up right there, and either store it right here or put it in one of these two fuel units. If you put it in either one of these chests and then flip the lever, this one will fuel the smokers while this chest will fuel all of these furnaces down here in my super smelter. The super smelter has an automatic system so that when you throw something into the feeding box here, a little bit of it will drain into this chest minecart here. And then this system, which has another red torch down here, will power the block here, which powers this powered rail and sends the item across there very quickly. That'll throw items into these first couple of furnaces. Once those first few items are done smelting, this hopper down here will send a signal to this comparator, which will be picked up by this observer and then transmitted back over to here, which will let the chest minecart go again, and this time it'll fill up all the hoppers because it will have had more opportunities to fill up from the chest. It's honestly kind of a hodgepodge of circuits. I mean, like this system, which compares, well, I should have it full of dried kelp actually, but it's full of dried kelp blocks. It's got 5 stacks of dried kelp blocks in it, minus 1 here, so that when this hopper minecart gets more full than this item hopper, it'll take off. Another modification I've made is to add a hopper clock to this system. This goes off every 20 minutes. This is a double etho hopper clock. So down here we have 63 items that are going through 2 hoppers. Every time it goes back and forth like that, twice, it will release one of these items from the second hopper clock. And once all 25 of those items go through there, it'll trigger this system and it will send the kelp flying machines, the collection machines, on their path. I've got another one on the far side over here that is synced to run when this unit was delivered over here. So we can look in this one and in this one, and we can see that this one is almost ready to fire. With the 63 items in the bottom unit and the 25 items in the top unit, I've got it timed so that it takes on average just a little over 20 minutes. So that's plenty of time to let all of this kelp in the tanks grow, as you can see. Alright guys, made a little bit of progress. I dug out the area below the kelp chest, the double chest that's collecting it there. And I've also dug out this next room and put in all of the smokers. And that's just to make sure I've got the right area dug out, everything around it. Alright, so the track starts right here. We start with a couple detector rails. We don't need this one. In fact, we could put another block right there. And then we also need a piece of redstone. Whoops, dug that out too much. Piece of redstone there. And then we need a powered rail there and regular rails here and here. Whoops, I just messed that up. So that's a lesson for you there. Don't make the same mistake. And I'll just tidy that right up. Okay, so that's the first part of the rail there. And now we want a comparator coming out of the detector rail. No, out of it. And going into a block right there. All right, and then we need a sticky piston right there and a red torch underneath. A block covering up that area. And then I need to actually get behind there. All right, and then back here we need another comparator going into here. And right here we need a hopper with 5 stacks of items in it. So I'm going to grab, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks of kelp. And I'm going to put them all in there, and then I'm going to take out 1. Okay, a little bit more progress now. I've added hoppers to the top of all the smokers, hoppers along the bottom, all feeding that way. And then, of course, I've got a line of hoppers going into the backs of the smokers in order to feed them fuel with a line that ends up over here. And that right down there is going to be my little crafting room where the fuel line is going to stop there and the fuel line is going to stop there for the smelters that'll be over there in that direction. All right, so now I am ready to do the single biggest test that I need to do. So ideally, the hopper minecart that's full of kelp will come off of here and follow this track around here and then go over the tops of all those hoppers and just evenly distribute kelp in all of those smokers. But the unknown factor for the rest of the build is which way this little rail is going to go. I think it has to do with north to south, and right now, of course, that direction is north and that direction is south. But what I'm going to do is get down under here, the block right under there, and I'm going to put a torch right there. And then I'm going to figure out how to get out of here. I'm just going to put 2 temporary blocks there. All right, and that's it. That is the rail powered. So when it's powered, the minecart's going to go that way to the north. All right, so that kind of settled it for us. All right, so since it's going to take off that away, we need to build a checkpoint over here using a detector rail. And then I think that should be fine. We may actually need some more powered rails to get it going here. So I'll put some more powered rails on this side. All right, I've got a few more circuits in. I've got the rails. The powered rails are now getting powered. And I set up this little detector rail circuit. If the minecart is full, this circuit will fire, and that will prevent this circuit that comes directly from this detector plate from turning off the torch down there. When the torch down there gets turned off, this rail right here will switch directions and connect up with this rail, and then the empty minecart will return to the station to get refilled. But if this detects that there is still some kelp in the minecart, then this will deactivate that circuit before it can get there, and then the full minecart will continue around the tracks until it's emptied into all of these smokers. I guess I went and grabbed like all the kelp I have, and I guess I'm ready to go over here and do a little test of the fuel line. So we're going to put a well, I was going to use a chest, but I think we're just going to use a hopper minecart to test, I guess, and we'll put the dried kelp in there, and then we'll turn that off, and that should go and start filling up all of these smokers. Yes, it's evenly distributing all of my dried kelp blocks. Okay, so now I've got another minecart with hopper, and we're going to run over here, and we're going to put it on the rails here, and it should start filling up from this chest up here right away. There it goes. Look at how fast it's going. Okay, when it's almost full, I'm going to exit out of this screen and let it go. Look at that. Grabbed all of those so quickly. All right, it's about to go off. There it goes. All right, gets a little bit of power. All right, and now it is filling them up. Yep. All right, and all those smokers are smelting all that kelp into dried kelp. or kale chips. Let's see if this rail here switches and brings the minecart back to the docking station here. Yep, there it goes. All right, and it's filling back up. This whole thing works. All right, so now all these are probably, yep, that is filling up. So I need a couple of chests right there. And that can start filling up with dried kelp. This smoker isn't getting any, and neither is this smoker. That must be because of these levers. Ah, that's unfortunate. Yeah. That hopper and that hopper are locked because they're right across from these levers. Okay, so let's put a lever there. Alright, so that stopped it, and this should turn it back on. Whoops, looks like maybe we knocked it off the rails. Anyway, I have to do the same thing with this side. Alright, looks like we got the rails all powered again. All I need to do is go over to the back side of this cart and give it a little kick. There we go, and it's off and running again. Alright, now it looks like all of the smokers are being used. That's great. So the double chest is now empty, and I've taken up the powered rails on the back of here in order to do an optimization. I'm going to fill up 4 slots in these fuel hoppers that are feeding the back of the smokers, so that these 4 slots will be taken up, and only this one will allow kelp block fuel to pass through. That way we're using fuel more efficiently per unit. As you can see, the torches do not go into the smokers, which seems a little counterintuitive. I mean, you would think that you could easily power a furnace with a torch since it is burning. Alright guys, so I have dug a little temporary tunnel from the crafting room back there where the kelp smelter is. And I've just kind of dug back into the main chamber here. That's temporary, of course. I'll cover that back in when I need to. But I wanted to dig that tunnel so that I could dig out this area and connect it up to that tunnel and then put my fuel line rails up there. And right here, of course, I'm going to put a row of 9 furnaces. And then I'm going to put a bunch more furnaces behind here. And I'm going to dig out all of this below here so that I can run a line of hoppers behind here. And of course we're going to dig out this area above it so that I can run the hoppers and the rails above it. And I need to dig back in this direction so that I can install all of the circuitry that I need for the input system. Alright, I'll be back in a little bit with this. Okay guys, quite a bit of progress here. Got the furnaces in and got the entire feeding system in. This is where you pick your things up, of course, and this is where you put your materials in to be smelted. And I've also got some decor out here. Back here I've managed to do all the redstone. I tried to do this on camera, but it was too hard, so I quit and got it right, and now it's working. So now we need to go up here. We need a chest mine cart there, and we need to lay the rails here, and I'm gonna need to dig a line going up to there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start tearing out this wall all the way over to that area right there. So just go ahead and take all of these blocks out, and then right here we need a regular rail. All right, and that's the line. Oh, this is the fuel line. Oh, yeah, so this line just wants to end right here. And this line actually needs to come down here. So I think I'm going to take that back a few and that back a few. And that back a few. Okay. All right, and they're all powered. Okay, and we're looking good. One there ought to do it. All right, so now we just got to get power to these bottom rails. I'm going to go ahead and start filling this in. And and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, so unfortunately it looks like I absolutely have to have this block right here, which is going to show up in my window, and not much point of that, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the preemptive step of shortening this window by 2 blocks in each direction. Alright, so now I got to get some glass in there, and it should be about time for our test run. I'm going to go ahead and fill in this area back in here as much as I can. Okay, so now I need to be able to get down to this chamber pretty easily, so I think I'm just going to try putting a hole straight up. There I think is the bottom level. Yep, there it is. Oh, it's right below the lever, looks like. I'm going to try to get up in there. Alright, good deal. Yeah, so... I was thinking maybe about putting the timer here, so I don't know if this works. Alright, let me go get my ladders and figure this out. So if this is not a good place to put it, then... where is... let's see. I mean... this would be really close to the machine. This is basically the furthest back this hole can go. So I guess we'll do over here instead. Yeah, that's probably best. Yeah, nice red acacia trapdoor. Why not? Alright, that's fine. Okay, let's give a little test of my little systems here. Alright, let's take half of these and put them into this one. Should be all good. Looking good. Pretty good. Alright, and then we're going to put the rest in this one and send it on its way. If it comes back, that'd be really good. There it goes. It looks a little funny going down the hills there. It looks like it's kind of getting thrown around a little bit. Alright, but that's looking good. Alright, let's see if these got fuel in them. Good. Some of these just have 1, but some have 2. I guess it fed them back from this direction. That one got none. Why did this one get none? That's not good. Alright, let's see what's going on in this one. Yep, there was a torch there. Extra torch. That should fix that up. Alright, and this should fix up the whole thing right there. Oh, right, I can't wait to fire this up. Alright, I'm just checking. This is all looking pretty good. Alright, so this is a multiplicative hopper clock, to correct what I said earlier. But what we're doing is we are going to go ahead and throw a whole bunch of items, 63, into this. Alright, and so that's powered, and now I'm going to throw 25 items into this, and that just became unpowered. It unpowered this torch below here, which turned this torch off. Actually, this torch is now powered, if I'm being honest, and that one is unpowered. Alright, and so that has turned the system off, and the hopper timer is running. So now I'm on the far side of the kelp farm, and this is all necessary because when that flying machine that's currently on the far side comes back over here, it's going to come right here, and the observer at the end is going to fire directly into there, and that's going to send off this other unit. And this line here is for sending back that unit when this unit returns to this side. Okay, so I think it's possible with my hopper timer Yeah, my hopper timer wants to send this one, right? That's all I'm worried about. So I think I can put a redstone torch under here. I'm not going to do it yet because that would send it off, obviously. But obviously I can put my timer unit under the floor here. All right. Whoops! I accidentally just sent it off. Okay, might as well go down and watch my smelter get to work. Alright, there we go. I got here just in time to see those light up. Smelting away, smelting away. Alright. So yeah, once that... Wow, that is filling up so quickly. Oh my god, that's just pouring in there. It's not like in units of like, 15. Like they're all cooking at once. It's just pouring in constantly. Alright guys, finally got the second multiplicative hopper clock in. Managed to time it to when this one arrived over here. As you can see, there's still some refuse out here. And now I'm covering up my hopper clock with a layer of stone to make sure nothing spawns down here. This will also greatly reduce the lag from this clock. And then I just have to fill in the floor here, and I think we are all just about done. Except, of course, for testing out my new smelter. However, it would be a good idea, of course, to stay here and see if this works. It's starting to seem like it's taken too long. Yeah, I mean, this is almost 20 minutes that I've been recording now. Ah, there it goes. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So my multiplicative hopper clock that I put under the floor there works. I'm probably going to have to sync it up a little bit better on the far side, but so far it seems like I've got a great system going. And there it goes. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with this. And now it's time to go downstairs and see if we can actually smelt up some blocks. All right, and now the moment we've all been waiting for. I put some red glass here just to make it seem hot. And we're going to go ahead and put our like a stack of stone up in here. And it should fire off almost immediately. Yes. All right, so I've filled up a couple. And once those things get through the hopper, it's going to fire off again. There it goes. All right. Yes, my super smelter works. This is awesome. This was totally worth all of the heartache and all the effort, especially for what it took to do the kelp farm. That was much more of a pain than doing this smelter. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure and leave me a like. Leave a comment with some feedback to let me know how you think this went. And please be sure to subscribe so that I can see you in the next episode. Bye!